Area over the Korean boxer Bayan Jong-il. There is referee Keith Walker of New Zealand. It was a foul-filled fight. Area over the Korean boxer Bayan Jong-il. There is referee Keith Walker of New Zealand. It was a foul-filled fight. It led to 2 warnings, which means the Korean was, at least on the scorecard, lost 2 points, and that did contribute to the decision. There is Bayan Jong-il, and we'll get a look at what took place. First, the decision. That's the referee Walker. And the announcement was made, the hand of Haristov indicating the win. During the course of the fight, the Korean corner was adamant, very upset about a number of cautions that were handed out to the Korean Bayan Jong-il. Now, this is what took place with the Korean coach jumping in.
Now, this starts out like just a protest, but it gets physical. It gets physical because the cornerman tries to punch the referee. There he's trying to get a punch in. He does get a punch in later on. This is a criminal activity on the part of that coach. He should be banned from competition, if not arrested for assault, because in spite of people trying to keep him away, he does come over. He does punch the coach, and he precipitates a riot. Now, this is the host country, Korea. Where's the security? We have massive police all over this place. You don't see one in the ring. Here's this man completely out of control in a criminal activity of assaulting an official who actually did a good job.
Outrageous situation, and then shares were also tossed into the ring. Meanwhile, Bayan Jong-il is sitting down in the corner to our left, trying to calm himself down, but he has been beaten. Another loss for the Koreans after a very fast start. So, chaotic scene here at Chamshil. Marv Albert with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, and right here we will go to volleyball.
Thank you, Marv. Nothing ever happens like that in volleyball, does it?
Well, the only thing I can think of, 1975 Pan Ams, the Mexican setter and the Brazilian setter got into a spitting match. They spit on each other back and forth across the net.
Game 4, 12-10, Argentina. Significant in many ways in that the Argentine team won the first 2. Listen to Marv Dunphy.
So we can do something with it. All right, keep side down here.
That's all we got to do. Hey, no junk by 7.
Hey, we're swinging for him. Let's go. Hey, side out.
I believe you heard Karch Garai say we got to play this point as if it's championship point. An overview of this is that the 2 teams with the best record in each pool advance to the medal round. The U.S. 2-0, Argentina 2-0. U.S. in 1984 won the gold medal with a 5-1 record. Timmons gets it down, side out U.S. Craig Buck will come back in the match, replacing Eric Sato, who had gone in for defense.
And he's usually a man the United States can count on. Craig Buck usually plays very well at the end of a match, and it's up to him to block some balls and kill some balls at the net. Buck has to take charge.
Quiroga kept alive. Stork with the set. Timmons blocked well, but off the block, out of bounds. Point USA. Argentina leads 12-11.
That's a nice
Fortune again to serve. Martinez kept alive by Stavertlik. Timmons again.
Oh!
He's getting hot now.
And give some credit to Bob Stavertlik in the backcourt. 2 straight digs by Stavertlik and 2 nice kills by Timmons.
Timmons now 23 kills in the match. Alejandro Diaz will come in for Argentina. Hugo Conte will come out. Scott Fortune again with the serve. 12-12. Game 4. It's the best of 5. Cantor. Martinez. Block. Oh! Timmons can't get it up. That ball just laid on the back of his hand. What did you say? He tried the pancake?
He tried the pancake. It stuck in the frying pan, however.
Well, that happens.
Didn't grease the pan.
Back in is John Uriarte. Conte serves. Karai gets it down.
You can bet that Jeff Stork is going to be setting Karai a lot now and Timmons a lot. Even though Timmons has not played his best match, he's a money player.
That's the meat of the order for the U.S. team. Ronnie with here's Timmons again. Handled well by Quiroga. He comes back with the kill. And there's a touch. There's Dr. Karai. He's going to break that flag in about 12 pieces if he doesn't watch out here. The lady to his right is certainly enjoying this too. Quiroga, 36 kills for Argentina in this match. And Martinez serves it into the net. Now this has been the U.S.'s best rotation. Jeff Stork serving, Timmons, Buck, and Stabertlik at the net. Quiroga kept alive. Timmons. Conte keeps it up. Quiroga again. That's long. That's long. 13-12.
A tremendous defensive player. Quiroga had been hitting that ball down, and Stork in the perfect position that time. When the ball's going 120 miles an hour, you can't move. You have to be there ready.
Stork way back deep on the serve. Handled well. Dees. Stabertlik right back in his face. That time Castellani and John Uriarte give a side out to Argentina.
Interesting challenge for Argentina. Historically, this is when Argentina has gone into the tank, right at the end of matches and games in key times.
Timmons off the block. It comes all the way back over the net, but is out of bounds. Side out USA. Craig Buck will serve. They lead 13-12 in game 4. Castellani. Cantor. Castellani back. Right back at him.
Said Quiroga.
That's wide. 14-12. Very reminiscent of the Pan American Games. Argentina wins the first two. The U.S. come back to win the second two. And that's through the block. It is game point, but side out Argentina. That was 4 unanswered points for the U.S. off of Jeff Stork's serve.
And that was a bad set, Bob. You have to set the ball. I've said this before, at least a meter off the net. The Argentine players are very tall. Set it back a little farther.
Stabertlik, Stork. Timmons hits it down, side out U.S. This is game point. We hear you, Dr. Karai. Stabertlik serves.
He played on the junior national team in Hungary when he was young, so he knows the competitive spirit.
Yes, the name of Karai is Hungarian. The name of Stabertlik is Czechoslovakian. Conte up. Timmons. Stork sets. Timmons again. Off. He didn't get it over the net.
And Karai just screamed at Stork, set me, set me. Well, perhaps see Karai getting a few more sets.
Castellani. Timmons. Right back in his face. That time Martinez and Conte. Dr. Karai not happy.
Game is to 15. You have to win by 2.
And the score is tied, 14 apiece. Karai. It's down. Side out U.S. Timmons serves. There's the crowd, part of the Sados. This is where the international maturity of this U.S. men's volleyball team should show. Martinez. Under the net. They're calling Argentina under the net.
Oh, this is a big call. The Argentinian players are all over the place.
15-14 U.S. They called Waldo Cantor, number 8, under the net. This is game point USA. Martinez off of Buck out of bounds. If he hadn't touched it, that would have been game 4. But Argentina now with a chance to tie at 15. You must win by 2. The big server, Quiroga.
He's eased up.
Stork. Left-handed setter. Obviously, Dr. Karai approves. And the coach, Mr. Mushaga, not pleased. Conte.
Ooh,
that's in.
He whiffle hit that one. It just floated into the corner. You get lucky on some of those. You don't always hit the ball squarely, and you hope that your misses go in for winners.
That one did. Number 7, Hugo Conte to serve. Game 4. 15-14. What do we got here, Chris? What's the argument?
The first referee gave a yellow card, which is a warning to the Argentinian team for being, I think, for just arguing and yelling and screaming at him, just basic abuse. It's an abuse warning.
Maybe they're saying there's two warnings. It could be a point.
If it's on the same player, that's the key.
If it's on the same player. Conte jump serve. Timmins.
Bad pass.
Stork. Garay is able to, with his left hand, take the ball over the net. Karch Garay, right-handed Marv Dunphy. You never know from looking at him what's happening on the court. 15-14, game point for the U.S. Kept alive. Garay. Timmins. That's long. That was the U.S.'s 5th attempt at game point in game 4. Martinez now to serve. They trail 15-14.
So tough to get a jump serve in, and Martinez is going to go to the floater. Chickened out.
Stork hits it long. 15-15. You must win by 2. Martinez to serve again. Garay. Stork. Stavertlich. Hits it long, but there was a touch. Side out U.S. And once again, the U.S.'s best rotation. Stork serving, Buck, Stavertlich, and Timmins at the net. Stavertlich now 25 kills for the match. Quiroga off the block, out of bounds. That's the 6th time of Dr. Garay.
Call the medics for Dr. Garay.
He can
Gonna
take
need a stretcher for him after this one.
He can take his own blood pressure. That's good. Timmins. There's a touch. Side out U.S.
People might wonder, are the players trying to hit those shots that go off the hands out of bounds? The answer is yes. You don't always try to spike the ball to the floor.
Cantor. Oh, right back in his face. A great block at the net by Timmins, by Fortune. John Uriarte has it right back in his face. Game point. 16-15, game 4. Craig Buck serves. Cantor. Castellani. Where's the call? Oh, the #1 referee is saying that's in. That's in. That was the U.S.'s 7th attempt at game point. Uriarte serves. Wide.
And the Argentinians, I believe, have gotten out of their game plan. That jump serve, it's been so effective. Now they're serving the little lollipops again, and the United States taking advantage of it.
At the net, Timmins, Fortune, and Garay. Quiroga. He's got a hammer.
38 kills out of 100 for Roel Quiroga. 100 of the Argentine kills.
Timmins off the block, side out U.S. A 9th attempt at game point for the U.S. in game 4. If they win, we go to 5. If they lose, the U.S. goes to 2-1 in this Olympic volleyball tournament. That's off the block. Fortune and Stork off the fingers. Dr. Garay is dying 1,000 deaths in that chair.
You have to hand it to Argentina, though, hanging in very well right now. The United States, 9 attempts, and that is quite a feat for Argentina, but they can't get the serve in.
Quiroga serves it into the net. Argentina just can't put the knockout punch in. Scott Fortune again serves for game 4. That's off the block, out of bounds. Side out Argentina.
They need their coach to come in and throw a couple punches to help them for that knockout punch.
You mean Mr. Mushaga? There he is. On his left hand is a cast. Hugo Conte serves. Jump serve. Stavertlich. Buck. Off the block. Again now. U.S. with its 11th chance at game point in game 4. Garay serves. Cantor. Martinez into the net. And the U.S. does come back. It's now tied 2-2. 17-15 in game 4. We will go to 5. This match now 2 hours long.
That was Dr. Garay and his wife, Tony, and their son playing very well.
Karch Garay took over. Steve Timmins, 28 kills. Now we go to other action in the Olympics.
All right, Charlie, should say Bob, it was quite a bit of action. Marv Albert with Ferdy Pacheco and Wally Matthews. It is some 17 minutes since the ugly, scary scene in the ring that followed this man's defeat. This is Bayan Zhang-il of Korea. He lost on points to Alexander Hristov of Bulgaria. And then the crowd went wild on the announcement of the decision. The referee, Keith Walker of New Zealand, was jumped in the ring by the Korean coaches. And then when the referee was escorted by the security staff, this is what took place. Wally Matthews was on hand. Wally, what happened?
Mara, was one of the most amazing things, unbelievable things I've ever seen. They were trying to get at the referee, and when he went for some sanctuary among these officials here in the yellow jackets who were supposed to be security for the venue, one of them actually tried to kick the referee in the face. I tried to get the referee to go on camera with us. All he would say to me was, "I'm taking the next plane back to New Zealand." The man was obviously scared out of his wits.
And so that the scene as the boxer Bayan Zhang-il remains in the ring, obviously embarrassed by what has taken place.
I think he's humiliated, embarrassed, and the lucky thing is that this didn't happen in the evening when this place is packed with Koreans, and we might have had a very ugly incident. One remarkable thing, it was a criminal activity on the part of the cornerman and the lack of Korean police which surround this place. I mean, there's some massive security here. Nobody was in the ring to stop this embarrassment, and you cannot escape from the fact that this should never take place in a sporting ring or a sporting event.
What was most scary, the fact that chairs were being tossed into the ring following this controversial foul-filled 3 rounds, and the absurdity of it all, as the chairs were flying, as people were jumping into the ring, over at Ring A, the boxing continued.
Let the games go on.
So another controversial event here during the course of the boxing competition, but this time it did not involve an American. It involved instead the host country, Korea. Let's get back to Bryant Gumbel.
Hey, Marv, real quick before we let you get away. This has now happened, I'd say, about 17, 18 minutes ago. Has the security situation changed? Have they added people? Has it been beefed up?
I don't think so, Bryant, but I think that things have now settled down. I would have a feeling that the particular security man who went at the referee, Keith Walker, I would hope at least, has seen his final days working here.
I think they removed the irritant, the referee. What's left is to remove the boxer. So far, nobody's come out. I think they've sent for the movers to come move him because he doesn't look like he's getting up and going anywhere.
Well, if history is the precedent, he could be there a while. We note that in 1964, back in Tokyo, a Korean flyweight by the name of Cho Dong-ki staged a 51-minute sit-down strike in the ring after he was disqualified. So I'd say young Byung Jong-il has a ways to go yet. Oh, at least,
right, well, we're
at least 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, 18, 20 minutes and counting, Bryant. We'll be standing by, though.
Put a clock on it.
Yes.
Okay, Marvin Ferdy, thanks very much. The U.S. men are all tied up with Argentina after 4 sets. We'll be getting back for the 5th and deciding set of volleyball in just a moment, right after this. Of Bulgaria. He's been sitting there holding this little personal strike now for a little more than 20 minutes. It was a controversial decision that prompted a mini riot inside the ring. We'll be getting more on that as we continue to report on throughout the day. Right now, let's get back to volleyball, where we're set for a 5th set once more to Bob Trumpy and Chris Martin.
Thank you, Bryant. Game 5 underway. An interesting aspect of international volleyball in the 5th set. After 8 points is scored by either team, they will change ends to try to keep it as even as possible. Argentina now with its 2nd straight point. The story of this match has been number 10, Jeff Stork. Argentina wins the first 2 games, 15-11, 15-11. Stork comes in when the score is tied 4-4 in Game 3. The U.S. goes on to win Game 3, 15-4, and Game 4, 17-15. You can only score when you serve, and you must win by 2. It's 2-0 Argentina in Game 5. The winner will be undefeated. That's 2 hits by Jeff Stork. And it's side out Argentina. The winner will be undefeated in Pool B. And the loser will be 2-1 in Pool B. The 2 teams with the best records in pool play advance to the medal round. The Soviets in Pool A are undefeated. at 2-0.
And that's exactly why you don't want to come in second in Pool B, because if you cross over, you will play the Soviets in the semifinals.
Stavertlik serves. Argentina leads 2-0. Conte. Stavertlik knuckles it up. Stork with a set. Timmins. It's still alive. Karai. Blocked again at the net by Argentina. It's still alive. Stork. Karai. Off the block. And the U.S. gets his first point of Game 5. One of the amazing things about Karch Karai is that standing jump. Great hang time. Does not need a run to get up in the air. Castellani.
Karch actually jumps almost as well from the stand as he does from the run.
2-1. Argentina leads in Game 5.
And so is the sit-down strike of Byung-Jung-il, the young Korean bantamweight who suffered a controversial loss, shall we say, to Alexander Kristov of Bulgaria. He lost on the card 4-1. This after Keith Walker, a New Zealand referee, had deducted 2 points from him for headbutting or for rough treatment. We understand that his sit-down strike is continuing. There has so far been no attempt to remove him from the ring. He's been sitting there now for 28 minutes. We'll be taking a look at his fight just a little bit later on. But for right now, let's get back to volleyball, where the U.S. and Argentina are tied at 3 in the final and deciding set. Let's go back to boxing.
Thank you, Bryant. Anthony Hembrick couldn't get a second in that ring, and that young man, they can't get out. 3-3. Game 5. U.S. versus Argentina. Stork, Stavertlik. Oh, not over the net. Point Argentina.
United States has hit a little lull here. Argentina getting a little more confident, and that's their problem, their confidence.
Stavertlik kept alive by Uriarte. Conte through the block. Karai. Fortune over the net. Free ball for Argentina. Waldo Canner sets it up.
Oh, what a dig.
Blocked at the net. 1-on-1. That's 28 stuff blocks in the match for Argentina as the U.S. takes a timeout. Argentina leads 5-3.
And Hugo Conti has 16 of them.
Minutes in this volleyball match. It's been 2 hours and 13 minutes. Game 5. We've had a series of side outs here by both teams. Stavertlik kept alive by Argentina. Quiroga, the big hitter, that's wide. Side out U.S. That's now 6 straight side outs. 3 for each team. At 8 points, the 2 teams will switch in, and this has been the young man who has turned it around for the U.S. when he was inserted in Game 3. Stuff block at the net. That's Stavertlik and Timmins. 5-4 now. The U.S. team has gotten 12 points when Jeff Stork has been serving. That's in this match. Make it 13 points. 5-5.
It certainly helps your serving percentage when you have big fellas in the front line to stuff it down when you get it in. But Stork has a very effective serve, much like a knuckleball. It wobbles a lot.
See, Argentina has trouble with it again. And again, that's 14 points. At the net are Stavertlik 4, Buck 7, and Timmins 6 at 6-4, 6-9, and 6-6 at the net. And Mr. Mushaga, the coach of Argentina, takes a timeout. 6-5, U.S. leads Game 5.
You're going to get an idea of what it's like to face a top international serve. You're standing back, you're in the action trying to pass, and the ball is moving, dropping. And what you have to do is try to, if you're the passer on Argentina's side, is try to move behind it and pass it up to the net. Very difficult.
Stork stands right at the end of the court. As a matter of fact, if he had his choice, he'd be 3 rows deep. Further away, the better he likes it. It looks like a Phil Niekro knuckleball coming over there. You can see he's left-handed. And again, trouble handling the serve. Quiroga, back row, block.
And his
7-5 U.S.
Argentina once again passing the ball way off the net. They have to get it up to their setter. There's a good one.
Blocked again at the net. Quiroga. Oh, caught some skin, but it was inbounds too. Side out U.S. U.S. scored 15 points now, and Jeff Stork has been serving.
Conversely, for Argentina, this is a good rotation for them. They're small setter in the back. They're big guns up front.
Timmons off the block. Side out U.S. Chris, several times the U.S. and Argentina have met, and in this 5th game, Argentina has not fared well in the past.
Well, I thought Argentina definitely in this match, in game 4, tightened up. You can call it gagging or choking, but they had 8 service errors in this 4th game, Bob, and that's just, you get a little tentative, you start to tighten up, and Argentina has not played well at the end of matches against the United States.
U.S. leads 7-5. Uriarte to serve. Stavertli. And there was a man in the net for Argentina, side out U.S. We mentioned earlier that this U.S. team, a relentless bunch, 10 college degrees. There's 5 of them on the floor now, and Scott Fortune will return for his senior year at Stanford. That is a spike out of bounds, 8-5 U.S., and they'll change in. That happens in international volleyball. Stavertli now 2 kills in the game, 27 in the match. Timmons 4 kills in the game, 32 in the match.
And usually the team that's winning runs over to the other side. The team that's losing walks very slowly, and I think you saw that.
Marv Dunphy, Gary Sato, they do not meet with the coach. They go right to the other end, and they begin to serve again. Gary Sato, the older brother of Eric Sato, and Mr. Mushaga, has seen his team basically let this match slip away to the U.S. That's 5 unanswered points for the U.S. team, and Leanne Sato, she'll play tomorrow. The women play Brazil. That's out. Karai just hits it out off the block.
And speaking of Leanne Sato, it's almost getting ready for toaster time. Eric Sato, the toaster, because he makes things happen. He makes that ball pop up. He'll be in fairly soon, I imagine.
Karai, a big spike. He was voted the best volleyball player in the world in 1986. Do you agree?
It was a special award because at the World Championships in France, they did not give it to him, and the head of the federation thought it was such an injustice that he made up a special award just for him.
Well, if you were picking all the volleyball players in the world, would you pick him?
Number 1. And you get the next 2, Bob.
9-5. Timmons serves. Karai with 30 kills in the match, 5 in the game. Quiroga. Great dig, Stavertli. Stork with the set. Oh! Through the block. The U.S. has, to a certain extent, taken control. From the point in game 3 when Jeff Stork was inserted, score tied 4-4. A replacement Quiroga comes out. Esteban De Palma, 6'6", comes in for Argentina.
Give him a quick
setter. There's De Palma right back in his. Oh, kept alive. Karai. Stork. Kept alive again. Stavertli. To Stork. To Karai. Oh, Argentina into the net. 11-5. Dr. Karai now very happy. 7 unanswered points by the U.S. team. Timmons serves timeout. Timeout, Argentina. You can see the intensity on Karai's face. The U.S. leads in game 5, 11-5.
This NBC Sports presentation of the games of the 24th Olympiad.
Karai serves. It is game 5. It's the best of 5 in this match. It's 2 games apiece. The winner will be undefeated at 3-0. The loser 2-1 in Pool B.
Key for Argentina now, if they want to catch up, they have to get their serve in, and they have to make it tough. 21 service errors in the match, and they need to get some balls going here.
The jump serve, a low percentage serve, but in South American teams, almost everyone does it. Conde, big stuff block at the net. Craig Buck, Jeff Stork, and now the U.S.'s best rotation. That's 8 stuff blocks at the net by Craig Buck. And another point when Jeff Stork is serving. 13-7. Game 5. Another yellow card. 16 points have been scored by the U.S. team when Jeff Stork has been serving. The substitution of Stork with the bad back for Ricky Ludes in game 3 turned it around. The U.S. lost the first 2, They've won the second two and lead in the fifth and deciding game. And again, Timmons and Buck with the stuff block.
And Buck coming alive when they need it.
Match point, USA. Jeff Stork serves. Castellani, quick set. Castellani gets it down. One match point averted by Argentina. Marv Dunphy on the sideline, constantly keeping stats. Stork, Timmons, really firing the ball now. And a substitution. Scott Fortune comes in for Troy Tanner along with Eric Sato. Sato will replace Buck, and Sato will serve. Eric Sato, 5'11", came straight out of Santa Monica City College. There's his sister Leanne. Jump serve for the match. Is it? It's an ace. The U.S. beats Argentina in 5. The star of the match on the championship serve, Eric Sato, the insertion of Jeff Stork, who did not play in the first two matches because of a bad back, turns it around for the U.S. They win in 5.
All right, Bob Trumpy, thank you. We've been keeping one eye on that terrific volleyball match and the other on the young fighter Byung-Jong Il. At 39 minutes into his sit-down strike, he did stand up, but he stood up only to get a chair. He has now moved past the 40-minute mark. 42 minutes he's been sitting there now. Let's go on out to the... Oh, we see somebody is moving into the ring now. This is the first time we have seen anybody move into the ring to even try to talk to him. There is a schedule that obviously they have not been trying to meet, but this is the first time we've seen anyone move into the ring to talk to the disconsolate Korean bantamweight. Let's go on out to the Chomsho Students Gymnasium. Wally Matthews has a report.
Bryant, not only did he get a chair at 41 minutes, at 38 minutes he took a little sip of water, and at about 36 minutes he gave us a little bit of a smile. So he's not exactly devastated, but he is going for the unofficial sit-in record, which we understand is about 51 minutes. The tensions here are still pretty high. Behind me you can see a security guard with a, well, he's walked away now, a yellow jacket. He was one of the first men in the ring to attack the referee, Keith Walker, and he was standing among a ring of Korean coaches as if he needed some protection. Now he's sort of drifted away, but he has been identified by several people as having gone into the ring to attack the referee. And we've also got a report from another eyewitness that an actual member of the AIBA jury from Korea stormed the ring to go after Keith Walker as well. So it's just a completely out of control situation. Now back to Bryant.
Hey, Wally, I know they have a schedule to meet. Is no one concerned about that?
I can't hear you, Bryant.
Wally, let me go ahead and repeat. I know they have a schedule to keep. Is no one visibly concerned about that?
I'm sorry, Bryant. I'm having a...
That's all right. I realize there's a great deal of noise.
We were told that the two bouts that are remaining would move to Ring A, and we're just kind of at a standstill here in terms of boxing. The boxing in Ring A has continued through all of this.
Yeah. Hey, Wally, can you hear me now?
I can.
Wally, whose jurisdiction does his continued presence in that ring fall under?
I can't tell you with any authority, but I would assume it's AIBA, and I think right now the attitude is to just back off and let things cool down for a while. I was told, and I'm not sure whether this is official or not, that the action will be moved over to the other ring. So maybe they're just going to let him sit here as long as he wants to.
Yeah, AIBA being the International Amateur Boxing Association. And we certainly don't mean to make light of a very serious situation, obviously, the potential for violence down there. But at 44 minutes, he's 7 minutes away from a record of sorts, record set in 1964 by a Korean flyweight who staged a 51-minute sit-down strike after being disqualified. Young Byung-Jong Il was not disqualified, but he did lose a controversial decision to young Alexander Ristov, a Bulgarian who is rated as the gold medal favorite in the bantamweight division. We're going to come back and chart the progress or lack of same of young Byung right after station break. He stood only moments ago, now 48 minutes that he has been there, refusing to leave. If you're perhaps wondering, as I was, whether or not this is cultural, whether it is fairly common for Koreans who are upset or frustrated or angry to sit down where they are, we are told no, it is not. That it is, just as it would be in our country, rather uncommon. But as you can see, he has no intentions of leaving the ring. Let's see what caused all of this. We're going to pick up his fight against Bulgarian Alexander Ristov in the second round. The call from Marv Albert and Dr. Ferdy Pacheco.
Now, this is the move that's causing a lot of trouble for Payan. It may cost him his title if he keeps up. He's trying to come under. Now, look, he picks him up. He came in with his head to pick him up, and that's what he's been warned about. Now, he's been given one warning. They give him, the next time he does it, he gets another warning. And the third time, he's gone.
All right, this is round two. Haristov in the white vest and Payan in the blue.
Very narrow margin of victory to first round win for Haristov if the counterpunch is correct and if my subjective opinion is correct. The judges may not see it that way.
And now caution for slapping against Haristov of Bulgaria.
Marv, there's a perfect example of what's causing that foul. Payan is putting his head down. There it is again. He's trying to get inside. There it is. When he does that.
And another caution for leading with the head.
No, this is a second warning.
And then it was a third caution against that particular violation. It constitutes another warning, which means a point is taken, but a third warning, as we have mentioned, would mean disqualification from the bow, that time hitting on the back called against Payan.
And what Payan has to do is abandon that tactic because he doesn't seem able to alter his style. He has to come in low like that with his head forward.
And this has been a foul-filled couple of rounds as we come to the halfway point of the second round. You feel that Payan is at the point after losing 2 scoring points because of the 2 warnings that he must come up with a knockout?
I think so. He's either he has to have a huge third round. Remember, a third round can pull you out in spite of it, but these are points lost. That's very big in Olympic boxing. The main thing I think is the trouble here is that Payan has to alter his style. He's not comfortable fighting any other way. Frustration's got to be a big part of Payan now. Can he alter? Can he change?
Looked like he was holding and hitting. Yes, that was the call. A caution again against Payan.
There's going to be one unpopular referee here. He's done it again.
Referee is Keith Walker of New Zealand. Very difficult assignment for the referee in amateur boxing when you have a bout such as this with many different type violations to keep count. Oh, nice left hand by Payan. Payan is only 1 scoring point.
Payan really feels desperation here. You can see it in his face. He's almost out of control.
And from the corner of Payan, the coach is now being told to quiet down.
Coach came all the way up on the ring apron, perilously close to disqualification. I mean, the corner can get him disqualified. Now 2 people are losing control.
And the brawl continues. That time a push down and a caution against Haristov for wrestling Payan to the canvas.
Boy, this is getting exciting because Payan is openly just disregarding anything and going for a knockout.
And he doubles up on the left hand in the final seconds of the second round. A caution now called against Haristov for holding. And we will stay right here between rounds. It may get very interesting in the corner of Payan Zhang-il.
And again, did you hear that buzzer distinctly? It's sort of like from the parking lot or something. You just hear sort of a groan.
Was muffled.
It's muffled is what it is. And that can lead to big trouble. Now, we're past 2 rounds of that. But I think that Haristov has to keep his head and keep boxing the way he is and trap Byung into another foul, and it's all over.
Well, they have calmed down a bit in the corner beyond Jean-Gil. But earlier, just moments ago, the Korean coaching staff took a flying leap up toward the apron. You can see just to the left, there it is. Did not receive a caution for this, actually should have.
He should have. Well, he pointed to him. I think the referee, in all fairness, is trying to be equitable and calm, but he's having a hard time controlling the hysteria of Byung and his corner.
This is round 3.
Oh, ice. Excuse me, ice on the corner of Byung had to be kicked out by the referee.
Crowd responding to the assault by Byung, and now a caution against Haristov again for wrestling. That's the second caution for that particular category on Haristov. Byung has already been hit with 2 warnings, a third, and he would be disqualified.
Now Byung is holding and hitting there. The referee charitably let that one go.
Right hand by Haristov to answer the combination by Byung.
Haristov was lifted off the canvas again momentarily. He looked at the referee saying, is that one? Is that good enough to quit fighting? But no, it wasn't.
This third round, with all the mauling and brawling, reminiscent to what happened yesterday between light flyweight old Kwang Soo and Michael Carbajal, and now a caution again against Haristov for pushing Byung's head down.
Haristov is looking at the referee ahead of time saying, no, look, I'm not doing anything. Haristov is boxing beautifully, but he is boxing like a man who knows he's got the fight won and he doesn't need to lay it out. And Byung has calmed down considerably since that second round, but he's still trying to come in very low and body blocking Haristov.
And the crowd is responding to the Korean Byung Jeong-il going up against one of the favorites for the gold, Alexander Haristov of Bulgaria, 24 years old, from Plovdiv, Bulgaria. And the crowd now overreacting to whatever Byung does.
But this is what good legs will do for you. Haristov just bouncing and dancing away from most of those charges or tying him up. Scoring his punch and leaving.
To go in this third and final round.
While your eye follows Byung because he's on such a desperate charge, if you really look at Haristov, he's doing a very good job of muffling the charges of Byung.
Either boxer connecting frequently, though, in this third round. A lot of pushing and shoving. Half-minute remaining in the bout.
I think that's a product of all of these fouls. Everybody's getting so cautious. I must say, Keith Walker has done a superb job. This is one of the best refereeing jobs I've seen so far, and we've seen some awful ones.
All right, the caution on Haristov for pushing Byung down. Coming up on 10 seconds left in the bout, and this will be a tough decision. Referee Walker had trouble breaking the boxes. Good left hand and a follow-up by Byung, and that is it.
Those 2 points are now going to be very important in the judging.
And we'll be back with the decision in a moment.
In saying it was going to be a tough decision, Marv Albert was prophetic. We've just seen the third act of a 3-round fight, but a 4-act play. We're going to catch the final act pretty soon. It did turn violent. Marv Albert is sitting fairly close by young Byung there, who's now been sitting, as you can see, for almost an hour. Marv, is no one even trying to talk to him?
No, I don't think so. He is just staring, and as you can see, it is approaching, as you mentioned, 1 hour of the sit-in, which is the new world record for boxing sit-ins.
What's happening all around him, Marv?
Actually, he has been left alone. and the fighting is still going on in ring A. We are still situated by ring B, and the schedule calls for only the morning part of the session to take place in ring B, so ostensibly he could sit there for the rest of the day.
Ouch.
Yes.
I tell you what, we're going to step aside for a commercial break. If he's still there when we come back, he'll be over an hour. And by decision to a young Bulgarian, Alexander Ristov. It was a decision that came down against him 4-1 and precipitated a mini riot. Once again, here was the call of Marv Albert and Dr. Ferdy Pacheco.
Back at Chomshill Students Gymnasium, a look first at the third round according to Counterpunch, with Beyond throwing the 82 and landing 17, so 21% proficiency as opposed to Haristov. And the final card, as far as Counterpunch is concerned, would give the bout to the Korean Beyond Jong-il over Alexander Haristov, but you must also factor in the 2 points that Beyond will lose on the scorecard because of the warnings. You lose 1 point per warning. 3 cautions add up to a warning. And we're ready now for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now announce the winner of Ring B. The winner is on point 4-1 in the red corner, Alexander Hristov, Bulgaria.
A disappointed crowd as they have seen another Korean lose, but those 2 points taken away because of the warnings. Look out. Here's the Korean coach challenging the referee, Keith Walker.
Physically challenging. That's ugly. That's ugly. That's not simple.
And now we have a very ugly scene. The chair's been thrown into the ring. Look out. This is most unfortunate, in particular that it is involving a Korean boxer. And they are trying to kill. Look out. The referee just took a punch from one of the Korean coaches.
And these are the officials fighting. Now the security is coming in. It's ugly because the Korean coaches are punching the referee. Keith Walker is getting punched by the cornerman. This is ugly.
That the scene at the Chomshill Students Gymnasium a little over an hour ago, and as you can see now, they have turned out the lights at the Chomshill Students Gymnasium. Marv Albert is standing there live. Marv, is this being accompanied by any action?
What is happening here, and I wish I could feel comfortable about this, but the lights have gone out surrounding us, and we have had power shortages in the past, but I don't think that is the case here right now.
I think the authorities have turned out the lights so that they can empty the stadium, but I'm beginning to feel like Abraham Lincoln with Booth in the top rung there looking at us.
They are trying to empty the stadium right now, so it is one chapter after another here at the Chomshill Students Gymnasium.
Marv, when you say they're trying to empty it, what are you talking about? Everybody at ringside, or the fans too, or everybody both?
Both. Fans, those at ringside, and apparently they are having some success. As I look around in the din of the arena, only the judges remain. Now they are opening curtains up above to let light in. It may be a power shortage. We've had a couple of these during the course of the competition.
Well, but power shortages they don't ask people to leave for. Go ahead, Doctor.
They completed the bouts. One Korean came in, stole the gloves, was chased out by an official just as we went on the air. They turn out the lights. I believe it's calm everybody down, get out. That's it. That's the end of the morning fights, and let's come back in a more peaceful way in the evening, and I certainly hope so for the sports and for the Olympic spirit.
What about the security people? Now, are they the ones helping people out of the arena? Are they close by? Have they also left? What's going on?
They have assisted people to leave the arena. As Ferdy mentioned earlier, though, had that incident that was shown moments ago occurred tonight, where the crowd is usually larger and you would have had more Koreans in the crowd, it really could have been We called the earlier situation a riot, which it was in the ring, but had it occurred at night, it might have been full scale throughout the arena. That's the scary part of it.
And I think what they could have done, Brian, to diffuse it, they continued the argument with both people, both the excited cornermen and the hapless referee that was still being pelted and belted about right at ringside. They didn't take them inside to a room to discuss it. That heated up everything, and it continued the violence until the point that they finally got smart enough to get the referee out of here before real mayhem could occur. I thought it was regrettable. They didn't handle it well. But in one instance, Marv, the Korean security has been very good here, and they just failed inside the ring. Outside the ring, they were not bad. They have not been bad up to this point in protecting everyone, you and I included. But they just failed.
They got caught. I think they were just surprised. But one other point, Brian, that we did not mention before, and looking at the fight, again, not that the action is excusable, because what the Korean coaches and then what followed is the worst element of sport that you could witness. But when you look back at the bout, you see that the Bulgarian Hristov really was the man.
Well, he's leaving now.
Oh yes, he's gone. It's over. The sit-in is over. But the Bulgarian really was causing the fouls, and they did have a justifiable complaint because Hristov kept lifting beyond off the canvas. And I could understand why they were so unhappy, along with the fact that it appeared the referee Walker was confused in the number of cautions per violation. And now he's changed his mind. He's back.
Well, he's just back to greet what's left of the audience that was in a sympathetic sit-in with him. They can now go home to lunch, and he can go back to the dressing room or sit here in silence and in the dark.
Gentlemen, let me add some backdrop to this, and if you've already said it, I apologize for repeating you. But it was the Korean delegation that suffered a bad experience in '84 in Los Angeles when they felt some decisions went against them, and they felt so badly about it, in fact, that they thought of going home. They tried to pull out, and they told the Americans we would learn our lessons well. Correct, Marv?
Yeah, but if they go home here, they got a short walk. Yeah. I mean, this is just this is just not too good unless they shut the Olympics off altogether. The simile doesn't hold water here. I think they'll overcome this. I think they'll come back. Hopefully, this will not be reflected in this evening. It was an unfortunate, confusing set of circumstances, as Marv pointed out. We were as confused as they were. If we, sitting ringside coolly with our own Olympic advisor telling us what was happening, were confused, imagine what was happening inside the ring and in the corner. Just an unfortunate set of circumstances that built toward an eruption, and that was regrettable.
And in the midst of what took place in the ring, there was a security man by the name of S.L. Yoon, who normally wears the yellow jacket. That is how they are identified. And he took off the jacket, and as it turned out, he was the person throwing the punches at the referee, Keith Walker of New Zealand. And just a couple of minutes ago, our Wally Matthews caught up with S.L. Yoon. And here is that conversation. But first, here is what happened. There's Yoon from behind charging in. Now you get a look at him in the beige pants, and he let loose with a couple of punches to the side of the referee Walker. There he is, part of the Korean security force, and as I said, Wally did chat with him just moments ago.
Somebody said no talk? Who said no talk?
Did you go into the ring, though? Can you tell us that? Were you in the ring after the fight?
Okay, just a moment. I can speak English. Good man, I think.
Okay. You speak English very well. Are you a security guard? Do you work here?
No, I can speak.
What is your job here?
My job right here.
It's to keep order here in this area, to keep people who don't belong on the floor off the floor, right? So why did you go into the ring?
What?
When all the problems broke out, we've seen you go into the ring.
You know, Korean man and this pushing, warning 2 times, right?
You're talking about the Korean boxer.
He's a 2-time warning, right? Northern man, he has too much clinching, taking, pushing, no more warning. We pissed off.
Your job is to keep order here. It's not to comment on the judging or the officiating of the bout. Isn't that correct?
I don't know. You speak broken English, right? I can good English. I can.
But you did go into the ring because you were upset about the treatment of the Korean fighter. Isn't that true? You went into the ring because you were upset with the treatment of the Korean fighter.
Korean man, so he win. He should win.
He should have won. Is that what you're saying?
He should win.
Okay, in the opinion of Mr. Yoon here, venue security man, Byun Jung-il should have won, and he decided to take matters into his own hands.
It's good way, right? He's good boxing.
So point out that Mr. Yoon, and here we are over an hour away from what took place, is still working here at ringside.
Okay, Marv, thank you very much. You got to wonder what Anthony Hembrick makes of all of this as he watches young Byun Jung-il sitting there in the corner. He must be wondering where was Byun when he needed him. We're going to come back in just a moment. We'll continue with more right after this brief local news report.
Team competition. The Soviets are 1, 2, and 3. Artyomov, Liukin, and the two-time world champion Dmitry Bilazerchev. The top 6 includes East German Kroll, the Bulgarian Ristasov, and the sensational young Japanese Ikutani. He's only 18 years of age. The U.S. with 3 men in the final 36, Charlie Lakes, Kevin Davis, and the U.S. hope of the future, a future national champion, it would appear, Lance Ringnold. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Dick Enberg with Bart Connor. You can share the experience of the Americans being in the all-around. They can't medal. How important is it for them?
Well, certainly the U.S. team is definitely in a classic rebuilding phase. Charlie Lakes and Kevin Davis, I'm sure, will do very well, and they need to show the world gymnastics community that U.S. gymnastics is coming back. I think it's a very important event for Lance Ringnold. When I was 18 in the Montreal Olympics in '76, I did not make the all-around finals, and I didn't get that valuable experience. Lance will be getting that today.
Let's talk about who might win the medals. And, of course, the Soviets, 1, 2, and 3 going in. Can anyone break them from sweeping it?
I don't think anybody can sneak into the top 3. The Soviets are a lock. And what's interesting about those 3 gymnasts is they're all very different. Liukin is the trickster. He's going to blow our minds with the wild, crazy tricks he's going to do. Bilazerchev is so tough mentally, and he knows how to win a world title because he's done it before. And Artyomov is technically so superior, any one of them really could do it.
And Artyomov leading by 5/100ths of a point over Liukin. This is the second rotation. Let's go to Valery Liukin, the 21-year-old Soviet. He needs a 9.95 on the rings in order to take the lead.
He opened with a beautiful combination of back kip to a planche, bounce cross, and watch this, a straight arm, straight body, press to handstand. Now he has fulfilled, more than fulfilled, the strength requirements on the rings, and now he's going to swing. 2 back giants. That's a move called a Yamawaki, invented by the Japanese gymnast. Here's the dismount, a laid out, full out, and he sticks the landing. This guy can do everything.
And he scores the 9.950. The Soviet judge giving him a 10. So does the West German judge. So Valery Liukin, after 2 rotations, is now the leader for the all-around title. Artyomov and Bilazerchev, Kroll, Ristasov, and Tippelt of East Germany. Now let's go to the 3rd rotation. And Artyomov and Liukin. Let's go first to Liukin. He is on the vault, the leader. This is the halfway mark, 3rd rotation of 6.
He's a very dynamic tumbler and vaulter. Oh, and he cranks 2 twists on a move called a Kasamatsu.
And his score, a 9.9. That puts pressure on Artyomov. By the way, back in the 2nd rotation, Charlie Lakes had a sensational high bar routine, a 9.95, and on this rotation, a 9.90. So Lakes of the United States, although starting in 23rd place, has been outstanding. Now we're live, 3rd rotation. Vladimir Artyomov. You really like him, don't you?
I really like his style, and I really like his technique. I think one of the reasons why he's been a little overlooked is the fact that he doesn't do the dynamic tricks. He doesn't just blow your mind as Liukin would do. But he's so solid, he has everything.
A 10 would give him the lead.
I don't know if he's going to get it. He did a very nice vault, but he landed pretty low. That was a handspring front with a 1.5 twist, the same vault we saw Silvio Kroll from East Germany try, and Kroll had lots of problems with this. Watch, he's very high on the board, good position. He's going to push off, tuck in, half turn, 1.5 on the backflip, and he really fights to try and stick that landing. And as we mentioned, the difference in these medals is going to come down to thousandths of a point, so they're all really trying to nail the landings.
Artyomov waits for his score. Again, a perfect 10, and they have not handed out a perfect 10 yet, and we're in the 3rd rotation. There were 4 back in the team competition. And it wouldn't appear that our team off is going to get that top score.
You never know, Dick. We've seen some pretty crazy things out here at gymnastics in the last couple of days. But I do think that judges are trying to be a little tighter with the scores and not let them go through the roof.
Our team off is 23, 5 feet 6 inches tall. Shaved the mustache that he wore last year. He had kind of an evil look with that stash. But he's the fun-loving guy. He likes rock music, as many of the Soviets do. His favorite is Abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. Might be humming it when he goes over to the high bar.
He loves to come to the U.S. He's been to the U.S. for several competitions, the American Cups, and a number of tours. In fact, when asked what his favorite city in the U.S. was, he said Disneyland.
Isn't that a nice answer? Well, he has a lot of Americans who agree. Eberhard Genger, who used that name often, is on the judging panel for the vault. And apparently there's a problem. Too wide a difference in scores.
That's generally the reason why the judges do get together. Eberhard Ginger, of course, from West Germany, the inventor of the Ginger on high bar, is having a discussion with the judges. The vault is worth a perfect 10 if it's done right. 9.8 is the maximum any vault can get, but you can get 0.2 of a point back for virtuosity. I think what they're really discussing here is that the vault was done very nicely, but it's a very subjective call. They don't have the advantage of this slow motion replay that we do to see that it was very nice, but he did land low. Some judges are going to be harder on the deductions there, and I think Eberhard Ginger is doing his best to not let the scores go through the roof as we've seen in the earlier rounds.
Well, while we have a chance, as they sort that out, a chance to go back to Charlie Lakes and his routine on the high bar. That is his best event, and he probably has never been better than here in the Olympic Games on this routine. This is Charlie Lakes of the United States, high flying. Get your oxygen mask. Charlie Lakes on the high bar.
We saw Charlie completely fly off the high bar in the warm-up on one of his daredevil high flying moves. Let's see, here it's going to come. It's the Jaeger. We saw him make it the other day. This is better than the other day, Dick. He really is on. Reverse heck. Reverse heck, 2 in a row. This is actually a better exercise than we saw the other day. Watch him tap the bottom on these giants. Look at the speed. Laid out double.
Oh, my, Charlie Lakes. Lake scoring a 9.95 for that sensational routine. And what a shot that is when he's 10 feet over the bar with his head between his legs at split position. Still sorting our TMOF score, so we'll give it that when we return. The all-around championship, the #1 gymnast in the world, will be crowned with gold.
Jacobs, 23 years old, from Livingston, New Jersey, a great comeback story. He left the University of Texas in 1986 and returned to New Jersey to enter a hospital for drug addiction. Chris said he'd been a substance abuser since he was 12. He's been in good health ever since, swam his best ever at the Olympic trials, finishing second in this event to Matt Biondi.
You know, that time would have won the Olympics as recently as Los Angeles.
49.45 was his qualifying time. He had one false start. The second start is a good one. Also good swimmers from Sweden in lane 5 and 3. Herr Johansson in lane 5, Tommy Werner in lane 3, and a good East German, Sven Loszewski, in lane 2. They are swimming against the clock. Best qualifying time so far, 50.73. This is the 100-meter freestyle qualifier, 2 lengths of this 50-meter pool. They'll make one turn and head for home.
Very rapid action turnover, very strong kick, and Jacobs looks fabulous, very controlled.
Chris Jacobs, swimming in the middle of the pool, is in the lead. Looking to qualify for the finals, Frans Mortensen of Denmark, swimming well in lane 1, but Chris Jacobs now has a half-length lead over Herr Johansson of Sweden, and Chris Jacobs, swimming very well, comes to the wall, finishing with the fastest qualifying time yet and the best he's ever swum the event. Chris Jacobs swims it in 49.20, so in all probability he will indeed be a finalist with a personal best.
No question about it. That's a new Olympic record, Don. He was just superb from the turn all the way to the wall. Perfect control, extremely powerful kick. It's a personal best time. You see Jacobs 4th from the top, swimming right in the lead. No question about it. This is the man that's got the record, and he'll be the man for Biani to beat in the finals. Beautiful kick, beautiful stroke. Still riding very strong. Doesn't look like he's tying up in the least. Still reaching all the way